Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name's Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts this afternoon, and I'm joined with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. You know, I gotta say, there is an event coming up that I am really excited about for our kids.
Oh, what event would that be, Dean? I think I got an idea what you're talking about.
So it is actually starts June 12th. And it is open to kids, but it's based on a first come, first served basis. So you got to get out there and sign up. But we are having Lego camps all across our schools, and it is a really cool opportunity for our kids to learn through Legos. So if you're interested, you can ask your school principal to learn more.
That's a good idea. You know, there's always so many cool things happening, but a lot of times there's not a surplus of activities during the summer. So this is an out of the ordinary, good bragging point type activity for the Addison School District. So, yeah, I agree with you, Dean. And if for any parent out there listening, if they're like, wow, you know, what is this? It's cool, and it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And, you know, sticking with bragging points, we have an awesome guest today that
we
want
to
brag about. So today we have Dr. Erin Alexander. She is the principal over at the Addison Early Learning Center. So thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So you know what? Let's go ahead and hop right in. So obviously we know who you are, but just in case anybody's listening and they're not familiar, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Erin Alexander. I'm the principal at the Addison Early Learning Center. We're the early childhood building for the Addison School District. Mm-hmm. We serve children 3 to 5 years old. And I've been in Addison now doing this for 10 years.
Oh, awesome.
Love it here, and I love early childhood. Before that, I was in the Troy School District. Mm-hmm. I was an assistant principal for 5th and 6th grade, really big building, 1,200 kids.
Yeah.
And then before that, I was a music teacher in Schiller Park.
You know, I have to say, because I noticed, like, I've done a lot of music in my background as well, and one of the things that I noticed when we were helping out at the ELC for the elves, well, you went around doing the Christmas caroling with your group. I thought that was the coolest thing.
That's an interesting angle to the episode. I love it.
That was really cool. So, like, it's so cool it's so interesting to see, like, because everybody's in their professional positions and stuff. It's so interesting to see what people's kind of personal passions are and things like that. So it was really cool to see that you're a musician as well.
Yeah, thanks. I do enjoy that group. I've been in that group for many years, since right after college, and mm-hmm. that's just a way I still keep my hand in music.
Yeah, so. Well, I love that. That's very cool.
That's neat. So, you know, Dean touched upon it. I want everybody out there listening to kind of know the little bit of the history of the ELC campus. You know, I'm not sure if everybody realizes just how new it is, especially if you're new to the community. So you were here when that thing got built. So tell me a little bit about the history of the ELC, where was it before, and kind of why this new building and how it's set up is so beneficial to kids now.
Yes, so we have had preschool programs in District 4 since the 90s. We've mm-hmm. had them for a very long time. And as time goes on, building an early learning center is great because you're building something that is unique and specific for these young learners. Mm-hmm. So when I came in, there was an early learning task force that was already underway. So the superintendent, the board, this was all rolling. And by the time I got here, they handed me the baton and said, keep running.
Yeah.
So I was the principal at Ardmore for 1 year while the building was built, and I was hired with the intention to move into this new building. Gotcha. So it was such an experience. The teachers and I got to work with the architects, literally see it built from the first groundbreaking shovel to the day we cut the ribbon. And opening a building, it's a big experience to live through. And a lot of the staff have been very consistent over the years. So like we've all been through this huge thing together, and we built the physical building, and then we've spent the last 7 years building what's inside it, building the systems, the structure, the curriculum, and it just gets better and better every year. And I'm very thankful to work in a district that values early childhood. Our board and administration has always been very supportive of that and understands the importance.
That's so cool. And, I wonder, like, because when families were at that time, when they would drive to Ardmore, or they would drive past Ardmore, were there ever families that were like, what's going on over here? Like, what's happening next to Ardmore?
Yes, definitely. There was lots of construction, lots going on. Or I still have people say, I didn't even know this was back here. Or, this wasn't here when I went to school.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I love that. So kind of going off of that a little bit more. So why do you think that having an early learning center here in our district, why do you think that's such an important thing for our district? Like, how do you think that not only us as a district benefit, but how does our community benefit by having such a space for our littlest learners?
Yes, great question. Well, when we first built the building, moving us to our own building made way for full day kindergarten. So that was huge for everybody, that opened up all that space. And just many districts have followed suit. I do a lot of tours. I have lots of districts calling us saying that they want to see our building and have modeled a lot after us. And it's great because physically that we have a lot of requirements. We're monitored by the state. We're a part of the district, but we're monitored by the state through our grant funding. So there's a lot of specifics that go into how our rooms are set up, the size of things on the playground, just having small bathrooms and bathrooms in the classroom, a playground that's accessible to all abilities and small for our students. It's different than an elementary playground. So there's just a lot of specifics that go into building it. And early intervention is so important because you target any kind of developmental delays or any kind of needs. Our whole building is at risk in special ed, and our job is to get them ready for kindergarten. And the earlier you do that, the better. And we dismiss students from services all the time. We move kids. They'll start in a special ed self-contained room, and we do change of placements all year long. We do a ton of inclusion, and then we send them to kindergarten with those readiness skills, and they're ready to go.
That's so cool.
Your passion is contagious, and I love it. So what are some of the upcoming activities or even events related to the ELC that you want to make sure parents are aware of, especially if they got a kiddo that is that age range?
Yeah, so we have developmental screening every month, once a month. You can call our office. We have a Google form on our website. Definitely sign up. If your child is 2 years and 10 months to 5 years old, we want to have you go through our screening process to see if you would qualify for our programs. And if you don't, we have other places we can refer you to in the community. We work really closely with Head Start and the Park District and some other private daycares in the area. So definitely come for screening and spread the word. We have a great parent advisory group that meets 4 times a year. We have a meeting coming up next week.
Oh, cool.
We work closely with our parents, getting input, providing workshops that they need. I always tie the parent advisory meeting and then follow it up with a workshop. So we're doing yoga and the young child next week.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to need to know a little bit more about that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to need to know a little bit more, Dean.
Sure. Well, it's actually going to be taught by one of our teachers. We have one of our teachers, Carissa James, who is a certified yoga instructor. So she's going to lead it. And we're hoping all our families and kids come. Everyone who comes, the first 50 people are going to get a free yoga mat. So you got to come. It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Okay.
I feel like maybe I'll have to.
You might have to stop by.
Might have to stop by. Yeah.
Dean's going to show off his little downward dog.
Exactly.
Very cool.
You're right.
So I also heard that we're having a big kind of kindergarten like carnival registration celebration. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we're working really hard to get everyone registered as soon as we can before the school year's out. So if you haven't registered yet, definitely do that right now. Take advantage of some discounted pricing for doing it early.
Yeah.
And then June 2nd, we're having this big event. It's going to be the last chance to register. So if you haven't finished your registration, do it then. But the bus company is going to be there. Arbor Food Service, you'll get to learn a little bit about how that works in kindergarten, plus lots of fun things like activities, crafts, games. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a really fun event, and it's open to anyone going to kindergarten.
Very cool. That's so nice to hear.
Man, so that's coming up. Wow, programs at the ELC. Maybe I'm a parent that wants a tour, or just, man, tell me more. What's the easiest way to reach out to you if there's somebody out there in the community, parent, or anything else that's like, I'd like to learn a little bit more? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, I'm on Twitter. You can definitely connect with me there. Dr. Erin Alex on Twitter. And email's great. I'm at the ELC. Sign up for one of our screenings, and we're always here if you need anything.
I love it. So, Dino, if somebody wants to learn more about one of these events or another community event, what's an easiest way to find Dean?
Easy way to find me is going to be through Twitter as well, at Addison SD4. Nick, same question to you.
We are a trio of Twitter fans. At Dr. Nick Sutton, I am always lurking around, and district email as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is like a lot of really cool information, and a lot of information that I didn't know about either. Like, I'm seriously going to have to head over to that yoga class. That sounds pretty awesome. So thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And for everyone listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.